phishing scams, ransomware. This is scary stuff, especially for lawyers who can be targeted with all the confidential information that they hold. But today I'm here with Brent Hoeft, and he's going to talk about the things that lawyers can do to minimize the risk. He's going to be speaking for an hour at the upcoming Wisconsin Solo and Small Firm Conference, October 28th through the 30th, which is a virtual conference this year. And his topic is current trends in cybersecurity. Brent, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Joe. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well. So can you just tell the viewers what you do, where you work?
Well, I'm an attorney. I'm a solo attorney in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm also a consultant for FirmLock Consulting in Madison, Wisconsin. I do security awareness training and education and policy drafting for solo and small firms.
Okay. So in your session, I know you're going to talk about cybersecurity threats and focus a lot on ransomware. And why is that so important for lawyers to understand these types of threats? I know you mentioned that service providers are really big targets for these types of threats. So can you explain why it's so important for lawyers to stay educated on these types of trends?
Sure. So it's important for lawyers to understand the threats that are out there. The current major threats through social engineering, phishing, ransomware, those are threats that are attacking the human first. The attackers are looking at humans as the weak link in the security chain. So they're going after industries that are service providers, as you had said, law firms, CPAs, places like that. And it's not so much that we have information that might be valuable to someone else. It's that we have information that's valuable to us, that we have client information that by the rules of professional responsibility, we have an obligation to protect access to by unauthorized third parties. We have a duty to understand the benefits and risks of the technology that we use in order to be competent in our representation of our clients. So in order to comply with our own malpractice, ethics rules, we need to be sure that we understand the threats that are out there in our use of technology. Now, the targets of phishing is usually by email, and phishing's purpose usually is to deliver ransomware. Ransomware is bad because it locks up your system. It encrypts your system and you don't have access to your files until you pay the ransom. Now, obviously that's bad for a law firm. That can create problems with malpractice issues. What if that day you need files to go into court and you have your files locked up? All different situations can arise, not only the fact that your stuff is locked up and you don't have access to it, and now you have this choice to make. Do I pay the ransom or do I try to use my backups and get up and running? Either way, it's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you money, and you're likely going to have to bring in professionals to assist you in doing so. So in the best case scenarios, you lose time and you lose money. In the worst case scenarios, you could lose the trust of your clients, you could get hit with malpractice suits, and any of those things aren't good for your livelihood in general.
Right. So for attorneys who want to learn more about this, what can they expect to learn in your session on cybersecurity trends?
Sure. I go through an overview of what these things are: social engineering, phishing, ransomware. I talk about where we've been with ransomware to understand the evolution of what's happened. A disturbing trend has come up in 2020 where it's not just ransomware, and I use just in quotes because ransomware is bad in and of itself. But beyond that, they've been exfiltrating data and taking that data before they encrypt all your files. So now, not only are your files encrypted, but they have your information. So that creates a whole nother level of threat and issues that could arise and could be extremely detrimental, not just in time and money, but in overall livelihood, even existing beyond this, that your practice may not survive this type of ransomware attack because you fail to protect your client's information. And there's been cases where they actually go beyond that and say they're going to publicly disclose this information. And there have been times when they've gone farther and gone after the individual patients in some cases, clients and others, trying to extort money from them as well from that information becoming public. So it's a very serious trend. The trend is going up with the whole COVID-19, work from home, all of that stuff. It's a big issue. They're using that and the fact that people are working from home as kind of the gateway in with the phishing emails. And finally, what we'll learn in this segment is how to detect these phishing emails, because if you stop the phishing emails, you stop the ransomware. So we'll discuss the importance of education, of training, of being proactive with the knowledge of what ransomware does. We are able to prepare ourselves with backups, security policies, education and training. All of it is proactive steps that we're going to need to take, and we'll go over all of that to round out the session.
Really important information for lawyers to stay on top of. Brent, thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you at the conference.
That sounds great, Joe. Thank you.